Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric, and boy do I have an exciting video for you guys today. That is because I am playing Clockwork Aquario, but I'm playing it on MiSTer FPGA, and that is very fundamentally important for two very big reasons. One, Clockwork Aquario never came out on the System 18 Sega arcade board. It was in development and it was cancelled at the last minute, and this has been a game that has been lost for a very long time. It did get a Switch release, but that changes up a lot of the graphics and is basically kind of the same game, but a completely different game at the same time. But about a month ago, a user by the name of Acebanga from my Discord sent me a DM and said he might actually have the files, and I thought to myself, if there's anyone I know who knows System 18 better than anyone else, it is Jotego. So him and I in the background basically worked on trying to get this thing running, and by him and I working on it, I mean I basically just sent him the files and he did his magic. So for the first time ever, a lost arcade game has been made playable via FPGA. And before you leave a comment down below, don't worry, I also talked to Jotego about getting this working on MAME, and he is going to do a pull request because he has it booting, but not as well running wise as it is on FPGA right now. But I wanted to make sure that this game would be preserved for all time for everybody, but I thought it would be fun to try to get it going in FPGA first. So as of today, Clockwork Aquario is 100% preserved, 100% playable on MiSTer FPGA on the Sega System 18 core, and hopefully soon in MAME as well. And just yesterday I did a video on the 7-year anniversary talking about my proudest moment in the last year, and I said that was getting Cooper's 9, a lost arcade game, running and available for everyone. Well, this might actually take first place now, because I just absolutely love that an arcade prototype was found. I was able to help get this thing running on MiSTer FPGA, and now for all time it will be available for anyone to play. That's definitely something I love doing on the channel. I'm glad I was able to squeak one out in the month of October. And honestly, I'm never quite sure when these things are going to be available because it takes a long time to hunt them down. It does require help on other parties' parts, and it is one of those things. I then work with developers to try to make sure they are running, because honestly my code is crap. I tried to get this thing running on the core before talking to Jotego just with a custom MRA, and I basically failed spectacularly at it, just getting garbage on the screen. But this is really what I enjoy doing, making sure that these games live a long life, because the good thing is not every single prototype or every single unreleased game is fun. Sometimes you can totally understand why they were cancelled. The good news is with Clockwork Aquario, this game is just straight up fun. It's got some amazing visuals, some great music, and some huge sprites, and looks outstanding running on System 18 hardware. And if you are curious, I did talk to one person quietly in the background that I know has a System 18 board, because I actually don't have one. I was going to buy one for this, and you can actually take the zipped ROMs and go ahead and burn them and socket them in the appropriate places, and they got the game to boot as well. So if you actually own original System 18 hardware, it is something you can do, and I'm definitely going to pick up a board and build my own Clockwork Aquario JAMA setup. And that is always fun, and I like to keep these things alive because these games are worth playing. And like I said, this did come out on the Switch, but honestly that version, having played around with it in the background, isn't as good in my opinion as the actual arcade version. Now when Jotego does send that actual email out, finding this file might be a little bit tricky, so I'm pretty sure your Uncle Lance Charlson probably put it somewhere, and I'm sure you guys can figure out where that might be archived. But definitely give this one a shot. Not only is it fun, it is a little piece of Sega history, because it's not every day that a lost Sega and Westone arcade game is able to be released, and because the System 18 had so many fun games on it, having one more definitely makes a big difference. And it is fun, like I said, just to be able to start off with MiSTer FPGA on this one. I've always wanted to have an FPGA core for a game that never truly came out, and even though my dream is a 3DO M2 core so everyone can enjoy that hardware, I always wanted to see an arcade game come over to FPGA, something that didn't work anywhere else. Like I said, this is definitely going to be made to work in MAME. I will not leave you guys hanging on this one, and I'll make sure I can work with whoever I can to make sure everyone can play it, but I just wanted to see FPGA have its moment to shine when it came to lost games that could only work on a core. And the best part is the soundtrack sounds really good as well. The audio balance is still being worked on Jotego, but otherwise take a listen and I'll be right back with a ton more details about the lost game. Definitely some fun music, but like I said, the audio balance is still a work in progress, and this will definitely get updated as it goes along, but you can play this game from start to finish. I saw the credits scroll today, but I'm only showing you the beginning parts of the game through like the third world, because I want you to be surprised by this, because again, when you play this on MiSTer FPGA later today, it's going to be the first time anyone was ever able to play this on a System 18 board or its FPGA equivalent since it was in development back in the 90s, and that's something that honestly no one can say. And I want to make sure again I get all the credits right here, because it's not just me who works on these things. I know so many people and have so many conversations trying to hunt this stuff down that it definitely takes an entire army of people helping me, and I never want you to think that it is just video game esoteric exclusively that does these things. So Acebanga sent me these files over, and he said he was happy to share them. He just wanted them to be able to be played in MAME, and I said I would do everything under my power to make sure this game was playable for all time. And then I contacted Jotego and talked to him about getting this running on the System 18 core, because I knew we already had it. I figured if it was running on real System 18 hardware, then it shouldn't be that hard, air quotes, to be able to make it run on MiSTer FPGA. And I'm sure it definitely was hard, but it's one of those things. We had the core, so I knew that if anyone could get it done, it would be Jotego. And then of course I orchestrate things in the background. I make the video, make sure the files are protected, and just have these relationships with people to make sure that when something is available, I'm able to obtain it. Because a big thing in a lot of these prototypes is if someone wants them out into the world and made to be playable, they need to have someone that they can trust that isn't just going to take the file and never do anything with it. And anytime anyone sends anything to me, I make sure maybe a week later, maybe a month later, maybe a year later, that it is able to be played by everyone. And trust me, I've got a couple other things on my hard drive that aren't quite ready yet, but if you want to play a lost PlayStation 2 game that never actually came to retail, probably watch maybe around January or February. Hopefully that's when it'll actually come out. But honestly, as we go through Clockwork Aquario, this game is just fun. It is bright, it is charming, it's got some great music, a lot of fun combat, and kind of feels something like Bubble Bobble mixed together with an action platformer. In some ways kind of feels a little bit like Blues Journey on the Neo Geo as well, at least in the graphics department. But I love this mechanic of being able to pick things up and throw them around the screen, which definitely gives me a little bit of a Paracel Stars vibe as well. But whatever that gigantic mechanical clam, kind of looks like a rock as well, is actually made out of, I love how big the sprites are, I love how they're animated, I just love how colorful and charming this game truly is. And like I said, it's never a guarantee when you find a lost arcade game or a lost console game that it's going to be fun. So many games were canceled, and so many of them deserve to be canceled, no offense to the developers, because either the gameplay or the graphics or something just really wasn't working. Now the stated cancellation reason for Clockwork Aquario is basically that people in the arcades wanted 3D games, not 2D games, so they didn't really feel like this would do well at retail. And I totally understand that. You don't want to lose money on producing all of those boards if you don't think they're actually going to get installation space in arcades. So I can totally understand why this would have been canceled for a business reason, but the good news is in 2025 we're not worried about how many arcades we can get this board in. We're just worried about how many MiSTer FPGA players we can actually get enjoying it, and then hopefully soon how many people that play MAME can enjoy it as well. But we're going to move into our second soundtrack sample, because again, the music in an arcade game is as important as the visuals, and honestly I love them both. 35 seconds, I'll come back and tell you how you can play this one today. I mean, obviously the music is using some classic themes there, but it does work. Now do be aware that once you get to this stage, some of the sprites don't perfectly line up, and that is still, again, going to be something that is in development. Jotego wanted to get this thing running well enough so you could see the credit scroll, but like everything, this is still going to be in beta status, because I think everyone involved here was just excited for you to actually find out that this game existed and you could play it today. And of all the things I've done on the channel, this is definitely probably top 5 most exciting moments for me. Not just because I get to help release a lost arcade game that never actually actually saw released back in the day, but I also get to help make sure that MiSTer FPGA gets his first taste of prototype status as far as a Lost Arcade game goes. And if I can do this again in the future, I absolutely will, because if you know me and you know the channel, there's something I really believe in. If I have access to something that nobody else has, and I could make sure that it's playable and enjoyable by everyone, I am going to give that thing away for free all day long and twice on Sundays, because I really do not like when things are hoarded away by collectors. I'm not saying that they have to give them away, I'm just saying that when I have them, you know full well you're going to get them for free from Video Game Esoterica. So big thanks to Jotego for getting this core running with this game. It is absolutely spectacular. Big thanks to Acebanga for helping me find the files. A big thanks to you for watching and appreciating when I can actually do stuff like this, because I absolutely love doing it. It's not every week I can, I wish I could, but it is a fun moment for Video Game Esoterica, so I hope you enjoy. And when you see that Jotego email go out, you'll find the MRA file for it. And like I said, I'm pretty sure Lance Charleston did something in the archive to help you out as well. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.